Yeah, thank you for inviting. And as mentioned, I'm from Black Insurance. I'm gonna explain you our view on how we think we will change insurance value chains by using blockchain, by using tokens. Our goal in principle is to tokenize insurance capital. And now you will see one way how it could be done. I'm starting with my small introduction about myself. So I have established 5 insurtech startups and also worked in insurance company. Some of the startups are quite successful, some are not so successful, but I have some 20 years of experience trying to create insurance startups. Maybe starting with one simple question. So, from where or what will be the next Uber of insurance? Where it will come from? That could be the answer, but I have also the small answer here. So actually, such company, in my opinion, doesn't exist today. And why it doesn't exist is that if you think about all of the really successful companies that have managed to change some insurance, some industry like 10 times, and I think of Uber, think of Airbnb, think of Spotify, they all are created on top of some kind of operating system. And that operating system is Android, iOS, so something like that. The operating system that provides to these companies like transaction and operational infrastructure. And insurance doesn't have that operating system. Slides are a bit done, whatever. So insurance doesn't have that operating system. It's getting worse. Who is the technician? So the slide, I think it's
I'm not a technician, but I can try to.
Yeah. Okay. So we can say that maybe insurance companies are that operating system. But if you think about that, then insurance companies actually don't really count. Because insurance companies they have their own business interests. They actually themselves want to sell insurance. They are big and unflexible animals.
Who is playing that music?
What?
Can we switch this off, please?
So our goal with the Black is to build that operating system. To build that operating system on top of what these new Ubers and Spotifys and Airbnbs of insurance will be created. Before I'm going to explain you how we will do that, let me explain you what insurance is. I have been trying to simplify that to myself to the level that I'm able to explain it to you. So I will try. Let's assume that you have a car that costs $100,000, and now statistically there is one accident per 100 years. So don't charge the probabilities, it's just to make the calculation simple. Now the cost of that risk would be then $1,000, correct? Per year. Now, if it's like you alone, then that accident can happen during any of these 100 years. Now, what could be the option? If the insurance wouldn't exist, and you would like to insure yourself, so what you can do, you can go to the bank, take a loan for $100,000 for 100 years, and if you pay this kind of modest 2% interest rate on that, then you end up with an insurance cost of 1,000 principal, 2,000 interest, to 3,000. Your cost of insurance will be $3,000, and you always have that during that 100 year, that $100,000 in your pocket that you can go anytime to the dealership and buy a new car when you have a total loss. Let's call that, let's say, non-leveraged insurance. There is a rock-solid cash behind like every risk. You can a little bit compare that to the banking. So if you think about banking system, the banking system is working on a fractional reserve. 90% of all the money is created like out of thin air by the private banks. And actually insurance is doing something similar. So that's like the non-leveraged insurance. Now, it would be like 1,000 of you, 1,000 people. In that case, and everyone would pay $1,000 per year, then you would have like 1 million premiums collected each year. And if you remember the statistics, then 10 cars out of that 1,000 will be crashed. So you have that 1 million as losses also during that year. So now in that case, actually loan is not needed anymore. And that 1,000, they call it the premium. In real life, actually, it will be 1,500 because there are some cost and profit and some elements in that. So now what's actually happening here is that the insurance companies are lending you the money with the condition that they actually keep the money in case nothing happens. And it's leveraged because insurance companies never have like so much money to pay out all the claims, so they have just if all the claims happen on the same year, then that money wouldn't exist. Now, in order to do that business, so to give out these loans that you actually don't give out, you need something that is called reserve capital, because it could happen that on one given year, like 15 cars are crashed, and that premium is not enough. So now to get into that business, you need reserve capital or solvency capital or whatever it is. The amount of that capital is then in Europe calculated by Solvency II, whatever, 5 minutes, Okay, then I will speed up. So that's a road to the black. I will skip that part. I will then explain the solution for that. So now, we believe that actually brokers and intermediaries are well positioned to change that. We see a lot of innovative mindset there. Brokers just want to create new products, and we believe that they are able to create new products. But they cannot do that because they lack two things. They lack the license and they lack the capital, the same one that I talked before. Now, our goal is to create the operating system that provides to the brokers the capital and the license to, in principle, create their own virtual insurance companies. And how it would work is that the broker comes to the black platform, he fills in the business plan, the premiums, the loss ratios, the team, everything that needs to be known about that specific portfolio of risk. On the other side, there are syndicates. Syndicates are like mini insurance companies who raise their solvency capital by selling security tokens to the investors. And now, if syndicate decides to allocate the capital to the broker, then Black puts the license and the technology on top of that, and the broker is ready to start selling insurance policies. If you look at that picture, that it resembles very much the Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London also has brokers, syndicates and investors, but it's just built on more modern technology. We use blockchain to run all that part of the system. So Black is not end-to-end system. The brokers should have their own policy administration system, but we will manage all that money flows, capital allocations here on the blockchain, and it's powered also by two tokens. There is a utility token Black that works as an internal currency. It's used for the staking and voting, and then there are security tokens. That's one for the specific syndicate. And that security token, in principle, is a bond. The interest rate of that bond is then related to the profitability of that syndicate's book of business. The insurance underwriting profit is divided between three parties. Brokers get something, syndicates will get something, and investors get something. The importance of syndicates, maybe quickly stop here, is that we couldn't really connect investors directly to the brokers, because that would most likely end quite badly. Because someone needs to control the brokers, someone needs to make sure that they have the good underwriting principle and that they wouldn't destroy the capital. And investors don't have enough information to do that. And where we are today, so we have seen very good traction on the broker side. We have now over 60 brokers already signed up with over 300 million of gross written premium that have said that, you know, we are interested to do business with you when you have something. We don't have yet much. I think we have kind of solved quite many problems. So what we need technology. I think technology is doable. We need insurance license. We need syndicate investors. We need brokers. But we are today a bit lack of the funds. So in order to get the insurance license, you need quite a lot of money. So we are at the moment working with fundraising, but on the same time we are moving on with all of these directions. In principle, if you somehow think that you can help us with some of these areas, whether it's the technology, whether it's the know-how, whether it's connecting us to some kind of insurance companies who are okay to help us to disintermediate them by providing the license, then we are more than happy to talk with you.
Thank you.